Hey internet, so as you know, my channel is mainly fashion, beauty, and vlog focused, but once in a while I like to do these technology reviews and unboxings because I find them really useful. I don't find that there's a lot of people that I can relate to who do them, and so it's something that I want to be putting out there because it's something that I personally would find useful if I was looking online for reviews and unboxings of kind of more major purchases. My latest big technology purchase is a Kindle Paperwhite, and it's something that I've wanted for a while. I've been kind of considering making the transition to an e-reader for about 2 years, and I'm very late on the bandwagon with this. You can see on the left hand side, or my left hand side, there is a book on the nightstand, which is a reflection of how old-fashioned I am. I am a true book lover, I'm a huge reader, and so the transition for me has been a difficult one to make, a difficult decision to make, because I always felt like I wouldn't enjoy reading as much if it wasn't with an actual book in my hands. To kind of challenge that assumption of mine, I ended up borrowing my boyfriend's Kindle Paperwhite while I was in Hawaii briefly, and then actually physically taking his Kindle Fire with me on a business trip recently to see if, you know, kind of deprived of a regular book, I would still go ahead and enjoy reading on it. And it has really kind of challenged and shattered my assumptions because I have really enjoyed reading on it. It is so much more convenient for traveling. To me, it doesn't at all hinder my enjoyment of the work or the book to have it on a screen. The only lesson that I learned is that I really did want one with a matte screen like the Paperwhite, because the Kindle Fire has a reflective iPad or laptop type screen, which when read indoors is fine, but if you are trying to read outdoors at all or anywhere with really bright lighting, the lighting will reflect off the screen and makes it really, really tough to read from it. So this is an unboxing video in case you are starting to doubt that. I have the package right here. I've specifically not touched it other than making sure that it had the right contents. And so here is the box that it actually comes in from Amazon. And it came really fast, by the way, you guys. I had this completely paranoid notion that it would not get here in time before my trip to Thailand, but it got here well before. So here it is. It comes in this really lovely, quite compact box with everything that you would expect written on it. So just as a recap on the market right now, in Canada, because in the US you now have the Kindle Voyage available to you. In Canada at the time of filming, it is not actually out yet, and I chose not to wait. So right now we have the old original Kindle, we have the Kindle Paperwhite Wi-Fi, the Kindle Paperwhite 3G, which you don't need Wi-Fi for to download a book, and then of course the Kindle Fire, which is their answer to the iPad. So it comes with the slip-off cover, and as I said, I've already checked that it is the one that I wanted, which is the Paperwhite with only the Wi-Fi, because I personally did not want to shell out the extra $70 or so in order to get the 3G option, which I have to admit is pretty snazzy because it allows you to download a book anywhere in the world without any kind of Wi-Fi access. But I sort of had to think about my personality and how I work, and I am a huge planner, so pretty much any trip that I go on I will already have my books downloaded, and so I didn't feel like I needed to spend that extra amount of money. So my sort of advice for you at this time is to have a think about how you work, and if you are a last-minute downloader of books, then you may find that the 3G option is actually worth it for you. Nice folding top with a cobalt blue lining, and inside we have the Kindle, which is far more compact than I had somehow assumed that it would be. I thought it would be really clunky and not worth it, but if you compare this with the size of even a paperback book, it is extremely convenient and very handbag friendly if you are a lady like myself. So I'm gonna open up the plastic right here and show you what it looks like. So you can see it actually is charged and it's turning on for you right now, which is kind of fun. And it comes with an instruction manual, which I'm unlikely to read, and in multiple languages. And then behind that, if you are interested in hearing what sort of charger it comes with, I would say one of the drawbacks or ways they've cheaped out a little bit is they do not give you a wall plug. So you have this standard USB plug that you will have to put into, for example, an iPhone white plug to go into the wall if that's your plan for charging it, or you can just go ahead and put it into your desktop or laptop, whichever you have with you, and then it has a mini USB plug to actually charge into the Paperwhite. So right here at the beginning, it's asking me for some instructions. It wants to know which language I would like to speak. The next step for me really at this point is to go ahead and download all of the books that I'm going to read on my vacation to Thailand, and there are quite a few. So I thought instead of just doing an unboxing, which is maybe a bit plain, since there really isn't that much to the Kindle Paperwhite unless you have a book on it, I thought it would be fun to share with you which books I plan to download, and then if you would like, give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you would like to see a book review of the books that I end up reading and what I thought about them and whether I would recommend them. Because for me, spring and summer is probably my most well-read season, when I really do quite like to read books outside and just kind of really chill out through doing that. I do a lot of reading for my job. I'm a lawyer, so that involves really quite a lot of reading and writing, and so I go for much lighter material than I probably otherwise would if my profession were different. So the battery on this is supposed to be really excellent and need very little charging, which for me is a major plus, because it would be the worst to be at the sort of climax of a book and run out of batteries, right? That's not something that you want to have a problem with, given that it's not a problem normally with a book. This book that I plan to download onto my new Kindle Paperwhite is The Rosie Project by Graham Simpson. It's supposed to be a fun, really lighthearted story of a very oddly matched couple. So I've heard that it's kind of a fun, elegantly written read for those of you who like a light romantic story. Now, secondly, but probably in first place in terms of excitement, is just more books from Liane Moriarty, because I read The Hypnotist Love Story and The Husband's Secret on recent trips, business and vacation actually, and I completely devoured them. I'm obsessed with her writing. I think she is so incredibly talented. Her character development is amazing, and just the stories that she weaves are extremely compelling, despite being pretty much always set in very everyday life with, you know, fairly everyday characters. So I'm excited to read two particular books from her that I haven't read yet. One of them is What Alice Forgot, which is a huge bestseller about a woman who pretty much wakes up and can't remember the last 12 years of her life, and she's divorced and has lost contact with a lot of people and doesn't know what happened at all. And then the other one is The Last Anniversary, which I think is about a couple that have broken up and sort of come back into each other's lives. My third pick is really a true beach read. It's by Nora Roberts. I don't know if it's quite her latest books, but it's one of the most recent ones. It's called The Collector, which to me is a little bit inspired by A Rear View Window, because it's a woman who sees a crime happening from within her apartment, I believe. So all of Nora Roberts' books definitely have a strong romance element and often a suspense element as well, but they're very sort of lighthearted and they're chick lit. I mean, let's be honest, they're that sort of genre, but I think she is exceptionally talented for that genre and hugely prolific and creative. She's written over 209 books. Randomly found out the other day that actually Nora is short for Eleanor, which is very awesome because that's my name too, and I don't feel like there are too many awesome Eleanors out there that are currently alive, and she is definitely a talented one. I have loved so many of her books and read so many during vacation. I'm actually still finishing one, which is Carolina Moon. It's on my bedside table right now. I'm kind of coming towards the end of it. They're always very dramatic. If you like a dramatic story and you really want something just kind of with a little bit of everything that is very easy to read, very effortless to get through. If you're maybe a viewer that has gotten sucked into the young adult when you're actually an adult, I definitely was like that in the past, and I have read pretty much all of the vampire werewolf silliness and kind of devoured it and enjoyed it while it lasted and while it was sort of in, and now I'm kind of over it and I want still that lightness of reading, because to me it's just a way of relaxing. I don't want something very heavy, but still, you know, written intelligently with good character and story development, then I actually really recommend Nora Roberts as a way to break your addiction to young adult literature and kind of start exploring what adult fiction has to offer, because it really does have a lot to offer. If you are stuck in the young adult genre, then I really recommend you check out some of these books, because you are going to be astounded by how awesome the writing is. I did want to also download a couple of slightly more suspenseful, page-turning sort of books, and my purpose for those is mainly going to be for the actual trip to go to Thailand, which is interminable. Two that I have heard really good things about that are currently on bestseller lists and really gaining a lot of popularity is Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. This book has a really chilling premise, which is that this woman is constantly losing her memories, somewhat like Alice Forgot, I suppose, and she writes down notes, I think, to kind of remind herself of what's happened, and one of those notes is that she should not trust her husband, and you know, it's sort of what happens after that, and it's that sort of slightly maybe paranoid, suspenseful novel. If you like Gone Girl, then I'm told that these two are really good ones to read because you will like them as well. So S.J. Watson is one of them, Before I Go to Sleep. And then the second one is Dangerous Girls by Abigail Haas. To me, this is going to be a little bit more of an adult version of Pretty Little Liars. Some young women on spring break or on some kind of tropical vacation in Aruba, which will be perfect for me because I will also be on a tropical vacation when I read this. And so Abigail Haas's story is about one of them getting murdered and then all of the suspicion falling on one of them, and just sort of what happens on that trip as they start mistrusting each other. So I think it will be a really interesting sort of perspective on females turning on each other, which is always a fun beach read, right? I'm going to go ahead and download all of those onto my Paperwhite as soon as I have my Wi-Fi and account set up on there. I hope that you guys found this unboxing and beach reads video kind of fun and different, and let me know if you want to see more from me about books in general, because it is something that I would love to incorporate into my channel because it's something I'm really passionate about. So also let me know down below if there's any particular book that you recommend to me, because like I said, I really will chew through these very quickly, and I always keep a running list of books that I am interested in buying and downloading. So consider this video a start to the conversation. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!